Okay, good afternoon and welcome to Table Talk on the Inside Scoop, or in the Inside Scoop studio, 185 North Main Street in Barrie. Good afternoon to everyone and happy day after election. That's what I'm going to call it, happy day after election, because, and you all of a sudden don't have a camera. I don't know why. That's not good. But we'll just wing it for now. I'm gonna flip the camera around to you and just stay on you. That's what I'll do.
No, people would rather look at you than me.
But well, congratulations on
Thank
your
you.
landslide.
Oh,
right?
landslide, yeah.
That's what we're gonna call it, the landslide. Well, you know, you did took it away.
Well, there was my opponent there, Wrighton.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Wrighton got 14.
Yeah, do we know who else may have been written in? Was it the same person written in 14 times, or we don't know?
I'm curious, and I'm going to ask Cheryl if she can release that. I'm just curious if there was, like, somebody got block voting, or they're just different people. But.
Yeah, I'm just curious, and I really don't know why this isn't working, but it's what it is, because I can't make it work. But here we'll flip it over like that, so at least you can be seen a little bit. So thoughts about yesterday? I mean, I have some as far as it kind of really sucks that the voter turnout is the way it is.
Yeah, that's what bothered me the most.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice if that was a little bit better.
I think it worked out to what, 10% of the registered voters?
I think so, yeah. And it just, I mean, it's just, how do we get more people to the polls? I don't really know. I don't know, there's different opinions. Is it because it's in May, and is that the problem? It's hard to tell, really, what the problem is.
And you'd think more people would vote now because you don't have to go out. You can request an absentee ballot, have it mailed right to you. And, as much as I distrust the mail, but if you get it early enough, you don't have to mail it back. You can drop it off in 2 locations at City Hall outdoors, or bring it into City Hall.
Like Glenn Brummer did yesterday. He's tuned in talking to us now, and I thought it was awesome to see Glenn yesterday. He came up and turned his ballot in, went right inside and got that job done.
Yep. He stopped and said hi to everybody.
Yes, he did. It was good to see him. I hadn't seen him since, we had a little celebration, or in memory of celebration, for his daughter.
Yeah.
And that, so I hadn't seen him since then. Things have just been a little bit crazy busy for everyone.
Yeah.
For the last couple of months, and so I hadn't seen him. It was good to have him up there. We did the hot dogs, or 802 Scoop did the hot dogs again. That was always fun. I didn't think, I never do when we're there doing it. I didn't think that many people were there and that we gave that many away, but we went through 10 pounds of hot dogs.
Did we?
That's
great.
a lot of hot dogs.
Yeah.
And plus, I had potato chips and granola bars and apples and all kinds of good stuff, and really there's not much that I took back. So
you had some bottled water, you had some bottled juice.
Yeah.
That was great.
Juice, all those things. And yesterday, I should have gone and got more ice is what I should have done, because it was melting pretty damn quick. But though, I mean, the water was still cool, but it would have, we could have used a little
Next
bit
time
more.
we'll bring a cooler instead of just putting it in
That's
that
right.
that
And
bucket.
I had a cooler with me too, and so I should have just done that so that it wasn't right out in the sun. But Yeah, it was good. And it was good to
was.
see everybody. It's always good to have people stop and chat and ask questions or, on their way in or on their way out and give words of encouragement to the candidates. That's always nice because, let's face it, you send letters, you work hard to get these positions, and you don't always hear the upside of things.
Right.
So it's kind of nice.
And nice weather.
It was beautiful weather. It actually got
It got hot.
out there. I mean, I'm not complaining, but I don't want to sound like I'm complaining, but damn, it did. It got hot. Yeah, for sure.
Yep. And we made out all right.
Yeah.
I got in. Don Ruthier got in. That was a good race.
Yes.
Beth Hillgarten, is that it?
Hillgardner. Yeah.
Hillgardner. She won the seat in Ward 1 over Eddie Roos.
Yes.
And I thought it was a great day. But like you said, should have been a bigger turnout.
Yeah. The numbers we're still seeing where it's just low numbers, low turnout.
Yeah.
And I saw an interesting comment by someone, and she said, wow, 14 votes. Wow, my vote really does count. And we've been saying that for a long time.
Yeah.
Every single vote counts.
Yep.
Don't say, well, it's no big deal if I don't go today, or, shit, I forgot to fill out my ballot. And it really is that important. It can come down to that few numbers,
Right.
or that grade of number. It was the races last year were super tight
Yeah.
as well. Michael Booten, he lost by just 6 points, 6 votes. That's it.
And Eddie lost by
14.
14 last year.
Yeah, and so the margins are really that tight, especially when you get so few people voting. I mean, it matters.
Yeah. If you really care about what's going on, vote.
Yeah.
Don't sit back and say, oh, geez, and not show up. You don't even have to show up. You
Yeah.
can vote at home and bring it in or mail it back.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to vote.
Yeah, and the old saying, if you're gonna bitch, or you can't bitch if you're not voting, and
Right.
it's true. I mean, we watch constantly people get so upset and complain so much about the votes,
Right.
and the roads, and this is wrong and that's wrong, but where the hell were you
Right.
when you needed to be here? Where were you? Because I was shocked at the number of people that I didn't see. So yeah, it's unfortunate, and hopefully just more and more and more we get more people
Yeah.
out and
Yeah.
can get people talking about it. And like Linda Kuchar says, there's so many ways to vote. There's just no excuse for not voting. Yet those people that don't vote are the first to complain, and boy, do I ever agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to run for office, see if you can get on one of the committees.
Yes.
Citizen volunteer on a
Yeah.
committee.
Yeah.
You learn a lot that way.
Or at least attend the council meetings so that
Yeah.
you know what's going on and you understand a little more about what's going on, so that you can ask the right questions or and get the right answers, instead of just the assumptions are what always kill me. The
Yeah.
assumptions that are, the J.J. Newberry building is the perfect example. The assumption that the city was buying it.
Right.
No, don't click on the blue link for BADC. Don't learn about who BADC is. Just be pissed off that that's being bought with taxpayer money when that's not even really
It's
what's
not,
happening.
no.
Listen to the council meeting that was all about that, and the proposal for it, and the ask for the money, and where the money's coming from and why, and with very strict implications too.
Yeah.
It's not just a willy-nilly thing by any means. So it's rough.
It is rough.
sometimes. But I think we really walked away in a good situation. I think that, the wins where you look at 14 and it doesn't sound like it's a lot, like you won by a lot, but you really did, because that's double what somebody else lost by.
Yeah.
It's a little more than that. So literally, the dynamics here
Right.
are such. Yeah.
And see, that's, I think when I ran back in the 90s, when I was on in from 90, was it 93 to 95 or something like that. And very seldom back then did you have someone running unopposed,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it shouldn't be.
And it happened to
it's-
you.
Yeah.
You were unopposed.
Yeah.
And so, and I joked, I posted last night when I did the results, your result was that you won by a landslide.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, it was.
yeah,
Right.
it was a landslide. Every number you got, every voter there except for 14.
Yeah.
So, pretty cool. But we did gain. I think we did some great gains, and
Yeah.
we have a little ways to go as far as now there's a lot of stuff to get done.
Yeah.
And so let's see how it goes. I mean,
Tuesday night we'll get right down to business.
that's what I think. And I
Yeah.
think that you have a really good forced kind of like right now.
Yeah.
Not really, but a good council, a good team where I feel like, okay, you can all really work together
Yeah.
and make a difference and start getting stuff done. And I saw that the paving has started out back on Enterprise Alley. I saw that they have on Allen Street, the signs are up
Yep.
for the dates that will be no through traffic.
Yep.
It looks like the paving is right on track starting. We know that the rain is going to cause problems
Yeah.
here and there, and they work through it when they can.
If it's not pouring,
Right.
they can.
When they can, they do. And so, yeah, they've started. They've started the
So
process
it's the official start of paving
of
season.
paving season.
Yeah.
And so here, now we know. So now we're paving. So now we're going to hear all of the bitching about the traffic
Right.
and the dust
The detours.
and the detours and all of that. Get ready, because here it comes.
Yeah.
Because you are damned if you do and damned if you don't around here, for sure. It's coming out,
Yeah.
whether you want to hear it or not.
And this is a tough project, the one behind on Enterprise Alley, because
Yeah.
there's not a lot of options for detouring. There's one option, and it's going across the railroad tracks, past the old depot building, and then along the road that used to be the driveway to Rouleau Metro Granite. It'll come out on Prospect Street, near where the old feed store used to be, Clark's Feed Store, across from Gusto's and at the bridge. So just be patient. It's going to be slow traveling through there.
Yep.
And when they get up on the big projects, Allen Street, Prospect Street, Berlin Street, just follow the traffic controller's orders.
Yeah.
You have to be patient.
Yep. Absolutely. Patience is going to be the key. And kind of like, okay, we've had advanced warning, so kind of pick your route, know your route.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to share as much as possible the dates, the times, like today, the helicopter flying.
Right.
Keep posting that's what's happening. And then there still will be questions, because not everybody sees
Right.
everything on Facebook. It doesn't work that way. Algorithms, feeds, whatever, it just doesn't work that way. But we can post as much as we want, but there will still be a few people here and there, stragglers. But I think that they really are trying to get the word out
Yeah.
and really get schedules out. They're on the boards. They're in regroup. They're posted on Facebook. We've been sharing them. I think that they're trying to do a really good job so that people can
Right.
actually plan for
Yeah.
some of this.
If you're not on regroup, sign up
Sign
for
up.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the manager's office has been really good about posting issues. They had a water main break last night up on
Yep.
Spalding Street. They put that right out so people knew what was going on. It's the best way to get quick information through the city.
Yeah, It really is. I mean, it just, it, every message. I mean, yesterday we were getting messages while we were up at the auditorium. The water main break over by Spalding Street.
Yeah.
Or on Spalding Street. We heard about that this morning. There was one up by Ruthier Auto.
Yeah.
And we heard about that. It all comes through, and the same with the paving schedules and
Yeah.
everything else. They do use it, and I'm hoping that next year they will use it to remind people to get out and vote.
That's a good idea.
I mean, we know that it works. We know that people are getting mass message that way. And so to just remind people that that's happening.
Yeah.
There are, some people do text parties. They do text information to get the vote out, reminders. But not everyone does that. And
Right.
so, and not, again, maybe that isn't the way somebody necessarily receives every bit of their information. So they
Yeah.
try to do it several different ways.
Some
Yeah.
people might get that text and not recognize the number or whatever and just delete it right off without reading it.
Right, without reading it.
Yeah.
Who knows? So, Joe Edson, sorry, Joe. There's more than one person commenting here. Joe Edson says, congratulations, Jeff. And then we have comments coming in from YouTube. Bert Saldi also says, congratulations to you and Don both. And then we have, no, can't go back that far now. We have the YouTube comments only let me go back so far for
Yeah.
some reason. But Tina Ruthier says Berry City should put on a billboard and the regroup. So the billboard at the bottom of the hill, Auditorium Hill, which in the
That did
past
have,
I thought
that had voting on it.
it did.
Yeah.
I didn't see it on it. I
You
didn't.
got to watch it. It scrolls. It's not the same message all the time. See, that's something we looked at before, like when there's an event going on up there. See, you would post something if let's say there was something coming up on Saturday, and there may be something on Thursday. So you'd have both things on there, and it shows it for maybe 5 minutes, and then it changes to the next one. And people from like the gun show, the Trappers Banquet, have asked in the past when it's the day of the show, that should be the only thing showing on the
Agreed.
board.
Yeah, agreed.
And we should look into that
Yeah, definitely the day of that.
because it does, and it scrolls. So your thing is up there for 5 minutes, and it changes, and there's a next thing. And
Yeah, and 5 minutes is a long time for because if you're rolling through town and you're sitting in traffic,
Yeah.
you're not going to see the next thing.
Right.
And who knows what it'll say the next time you roll
Yeah.
through? Maybe still not the same information you're looking for.
it might even be less than 5. I haven't timed it, but
But it's a while.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's something. What's your kind of like first wish of things to deal with? Like, what do you have top of mind at the moment?
Well, my number one thing's always streets, and I'll be starting on that. So the number 2 thing on my list when I spoke at the caucus was flood resiliency, and that's actually going on. We've got helicopters flying around looking at the rivers and streams. So the flooding prevention is going to be my priority right now. And that would include the Berlin Street Bridge.
Yeah.
I know that Sue Kelly she had her petition out yesterday.
Yes, she did, and she's working
and
hard
I,
to get those.
I bet she got
signatures.
1,000 names yesterday.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. Well, not 1,000. She may have 1,000 total because she's been doing it for a
Right.
while.
Right.
But she was tenacious going after signatures.
Yes, she was. She asked everyone.
Oh, yeah.
She didn't care who, where, what you were there for. She was
Oh, yeah.
asking for your signature for Save the Berlin Street Bridge. Yeah, she definitely is very passionate
Yeah.
about it. And as we heard, though, a lot of people are very passionate about it. Most people were like, yes, absolutely. And
Yeah.
some people came up to the auditorium. As soon as they walked out of the building, they said, okay, where's the petition? We
Yep.
heard the petition's out here. We're looking for the petition. So, you know, people definitely feel very strongly about
Yeah.
keeping that bridge right where it is right now. Yeah. And I know there are other ideas. Tom's talked about it, and other people have talked about the fact that, you know, it's something that was put on the table with a bunch of other
Right.
ideas as a
Yeah.
possibility, because they're trying to get grant funding.
Right.
And grant funding needs more than one reason,
Yeah.
or more than one, you know, put something on the table and you want more than one idea. Kind of like when Governor Scott came to City Council and he said, here's an idea, you
Right.
guys work with it, and everybody freaked out
Right.
thinking that the idea was set in stone, and the
Yeah.
idea wasn't set in stone. It was just kind of like fuel for the mind,
Yeah.
and to get people to start having discussions, and all of that got shut right down. And hopefully some of that can be kick-started again, and
Right.
some funds can come, and but this is the same sort of idea. They put many ideas out on the table, and obviously people think that that idea is a really bad one.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like when we were talking about the Sanders money coming in for the auditorium to make some improvements there. When we applied for the money, we went for everything you could think of that we wanted in that place. And then it gets whittled down to where then you say, okay, this looks acceptable.
Yep.
We can probably get it if we go with this. But you start here, you know, you start at the top and work your way down to where you can afford to get it.
Yep. And pick off the little pieces as you go.
Yeah.
And my guess is the bridge will not go anywhere. Not without, my guess is, and if it does, it'll be a huge fight. I mean, I wouldn't put it past Sue Kelly to chain herself to it.
Don't give her any ideas. Jeez.
I wouldn't doubt it one bit that she's going to chain herself to that bridge, and maybe Judy Copping will be on the other side. I'm just telling you, those ladies are both pretty passionate about that bridge staying where it is.
Yeah.
So I can see it happening. She's a force to be reckoned with for sure. Yeah.
You know, they can't, you know, I just don't want anybody's houses being disrupted underneath the bridge, you know.
Yeah.
Their
True.
residents.
True.
Yeah.
Now, let's go there. Let's talk about the stuff going on in the city now that we all are just totally fed up with. And the last thing being that we all saw, the person taking a shit in the park.
Disgusting. And so here's my thing. In Vermont, you can leave your house naked, and there's nothing illegal about it. If you leave your house clothed and take your clothes off out in public, then it's indecent exposure.
Right.
The picture I saw, this person had dropped their pants
Yeah.
in the park.
Yeah.
That's indecent exposure. That person could have been arrested for that.
Right. And that's where we get into a touchy situation because, of course, everybody wants to blame the police right away instead of blaming the problem, which is the person that is taking a shit in the park. We want to blame the police. Well, the police, first of all, would have had to be sitting right there and actually caught this person in the act. In order for anything like that to happen. They can't go by a picture that they saw on Facebook, my page, the resident chat page, any other page. They're going to have to actually see that.
Right.
And they obviously didn't. I'm assuming if they did, they would have taken care of it. They
Sure.
wouldn't have allowed that either because I mean, let's be honest. Quite frankly, they're sick and tired and fed up of it all as well.
Yeah.
This is their city too. It's not just ours. This is their home too, and this is where they work and what their job is, and so we really need to start cutting them a little slack when it comes to those sorts of things. I mean, they don't have eyes in the back of their head and they can't be 100 places at once.
Right.
So, how are we going to deal with that? Hopefully, with an ordinance. We don't know. And will ordinances at least cut down on the people hanging out all of the time? We don't know that either. But I think that we got to try, because the destruction over there in the park is absolutely horrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Horrible. And then to see things like that, to be driving up Main Street and have to, and to witness somebody literally doing, I mean, what is going on?
It's a portalet right across the road.
Yeah.
Over by the heading church.
Yeah, over by the church. And so one of the first responses I've heard, or I read out of the same group that we often hear this for, well, if there was a portalet in the park, I don't want a
You don't want one in the
portalet
park.
in the park. It's the park that's in the center of town. That is kind of like, that is Berry City. That's where the
Right.
statue is. That's the center of the city. That's where, I don't want porta potties in that park.
No.
I mean, come on. How much more are we going to make the city ghetto-like? I mean, really, that's what it boils
Yeah.
down to.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm sure people will be pissed off that I said that, but I don't want that out right in the center of town. That is Berry City right there. That's the park, City Hall Park. Why
Yeah.
would we want such a thing?
There's other gateways into the city. There's,
Yeah.
coming up the Bear Montpelier Road, coming through 14 near Hope Cemetery. But this is bigger because you've got Route 14 coming from the Williamstown area, and you got 302 coming down from the East Barry area.
Yeah.
And that is the center of town right there.
Yeah.
And, we had a discussion a few years ago about the homeless people. It wasn't that many, but, and it was brought up to have allow tenting
Oh,
in the open area of Hope Cemetery.
Yeah.
And I was in charge of the cemeteries and the facilities at the time, and I said, no, that's a gateway into the city. People are going to be coming in. That's the first thing they're going to see,
Yeah.
because they wanted it in that big open section that will, in a couple of years is going to be developed, because
Yeah.
they'll be running out of space in the main cemetery. But that would be the first thing you see coming in.
Yeah.
You really want that? Do you want what Burlington did when they set aside a section for tenting, and they had nothing but extra police calls, drug overdoses?
Fires.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
All kinds of problems.
Yeah.
I don't want that in the center of the city. And I think, of all of the things that some people find, I don't even know how to put it, but the things that people find objectionable, I guess, here,
Yeah.
like the flag, hanging over Main Street,
Yeah.
or it blows my mind that they would be okay with
With portalets in the
with
park.
a portalet in
That would
the
look
park.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the part that is like really confusing to me. Of, or the lights in the park and during the holidays, all through the holidays, the Christmas lights,
Yeah.
and the things like that that are done to make the city look beautiful. We don't want,
Right.
but we're gonna stick a portalet.
Right in the middle of City Hall Park.
Yeah, or two, one,
Yeah.
or because it's just, I don't know. I guess I'm an evil, rotten person. I guess.
No.
That I do
No,
not
I don't
want
think so.
those things.
There's a lot of people that feel the same way you do.
Yeah. I mean, and is there places, I feel like there's the church, there's several of the churches right there. That there's the library, there's City Hall, there are
I
places.
thought there was another portalet.
There's one up in Courier Park. I know that.
Oh, there is.
I don't
Okay.
know, or there was. There usually is for when there's concerts.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's there all the time.
But I thought there was one over behind Merchants Row somewhere.
But even the one at the Courier Park,
Yeah.
because families use it, little kids use it the nights of the concerts.
Yeah.
If it were me, I would only unlock it at the night of the concerts. I would
Yeah.
only have it open at certain times.
Right.
Because you have to worry, and and I, as a parent, I would never let my child go in there alone anyway, without making sure there was no needles anywhere or anything. Because now you have to worry about all of those things.
Well, sure you do. In fact,
that you didn't necessarily worry about before.
they found a body
Yes, in one of the
in a
portalets.
portalet with a needle in their arm, dead.
Yep. Yeah, right out here. So it just across the street, really.
Yeah.
And imagine a child opening the door and having that person fall out of there. How horrible that would have been. I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
And so those are things that we have to think about, though, as parent. That sure, you're just at Courier Park watching the concert, and your kid says, "I need to, can I go to the bathroom?" And you're thinking, okay, it's just right there. I can see the portalite. Sure, go ahead. You can't. One, you don't know who's in there. You don't know. You don't know what's gone on in there just before. You don't know any of that. So you really have to go with them, no matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't go by myself. I make somebody go with me. Poor Rosemary. She's always getting dragged to somewhere, Come with
She's a
me.
saint.
Come with me. But it's true. There are places, and it's not something I want to see.
No. No. It's like when they have the Heritage Festival, they have some set up
Yeah.
over by the church,
Yep.
and that's fine.
That's an event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then once the festival's over, they're gone. Mm-hmm. I mean, if there were some other places, off Main Street, on a side street that they could put a couple, fine. I can understand that, but not in the park.
No. No. And in doing that, how do we feel, or how do you feel about taxpayers paying for that?
Well, see, that's another thing. People are taxed enough as it is,
Yeah.
and we shouldn't be spending taxpayers' money on portalets. But
Yeah, it seems like that we've invested in a lot when it comes to certain people without a lot of return,
Yeah.
unfortunately. And the return is just some sort of at least respect. Respect for the city, the people, the property.
don't get me wrong. I'm not against people who need help,
Me either. Yeah.
but I'm willing to help somebody who's going to help themselves.
Yeah.
If they have no intention of helping themselves, then
Yeah.
they're on their own.
Yeah, it's called hand ups.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're willing to give somebody a hand up.
Yeah.
Me too. I do it all the time. And that feels good. It makes you feel good as a person. It makes somebody else feel good. It helps them. It's a good feeling to know that you help somebody.
Yeah.
But there's a line. And there should be.
Yeah.
Or you just keep getting taken advantage of. And the cycle keeps repeating itself.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I very confused about a lot of what is happening, I guess. And I really hope that there can be an ordinance. We can get some of this stuff together. And I hope that people start paying attention more and listening more and attending more meetings and really, God forbid we say the word that there's crime in the city. But there's problems right now. There's loitering, there's panhandling, there's theft, there's vandalism, there's Oh, you see it every day in the chat pages. So and so, woke up at 3 in the morning because there were people in the driveway lurking around the cars, or there was somebody jimmying my door, trying to get in my garage,
Yeah.
or
Well, someone was telling us yesterday about in their neighborhood, their neighbor's truck
Yeah.
was broken into, tires slashed.
yep, 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 and in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the car was locked, which you see often. People will say, "Well, was it locked?" Mm-hmm. And sometimes it doesn't matter if it's locked or not. If they want to
They'll
get
break
in,
the
they'll get
window.
in.
They'll do anything.
Yeah, and some of them know. I mean, some people know how to unlock a door.
Yeah.
Without anything. I mean, you can do a coat hanger. I've done it myself before because I used to be the queen of locking my keys in my car. It was awful. When my kids were, and it was always when my kids were younger. And I don't know, maybe I was just so busy that I didn't know what the hell I was doing most of the time. But we would go somewhere and I'd lock my keys in the car, and then sure enough, I'd have two small kids and, trying to figure out, great, how am I going to keep them
Yeah.
entertained and get into my car. And that was back when the police station would still, you could call the police and they would come and do it.
Yeah.
And lucky for me, back then I was, well, I'm still friends with him, but Brian Brown, he was on the Berrytown Police Department, and I would just call him, and it got to the point where he would say, "Where are you?" when he answered the phone. He just knew, yeah, that I was going to be somewhere locked out of my car, and he'd have to come and get me in. But those were the days.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else is going on? Anything good?
I don't know. Little League started. Actually, I think my grandson has a game tonight. think
I
it was-
did post
or
a
maybe my
couple of
granddaughter,
things.
one of them does.
I did post a couple of things that I found about Little League, and but we need to get a schedule. And
Yeah.
I don't know where to get that. I've reached out to the people that made the post. I
Yeah.
think it was
They have a
some sort of Little League something. I don't remember what it was called, but I messaged them and haven't gotten one yet.
they have a scheduling system that they give to the parents. It's called Game Changer. I'll ask Jordan about that
Yeah, we'll have to get that
if
posted.
he could. Yeah,
Or at least get the schedule so
Yeah.
that people know, because it's good to support our youth and to bring other kids. Like if you have kids, bring them to games just so that they can see their peers and their
Yeah.
classmates playing
Yeah.
and cheer them on and that sort of stuff. It's a good thing.
yeah.
Yeah. 'Tis the
I
season.
went to their first game up at Bond Field. That was last week or the week before. It was freezing. It was the wind.
Oh,
the
I'm
wind
sure.
blows up there on that hill.
Yeah.
God,
And do they play in the rain?
no,
No.
no.
They're
And
not.
if the field doesn't dry out after a storm, they won't play on it either.
Yeah. So they wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, at least you're not freezing and soaking wet.
No, that would be the ultimate, wouldn't it?
Yes, that would definitely would. Well, I guess for now then we will duck out because there's
Oh,
not.
we're going to talk about. We may have a change in schedule.
Oh yes, we should do that too. I forget. We should talk about that. We're gonna do a little bit of a change in schedule, and just because, well, it's summer months, and let's
Yeah.
face it, things will get busier. There's also some really big changes happening here for me, for the studio, for studio space. We may be moving.
Now, when will that happen? If it happens?
Probably about another month.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some changes there. There's just a lot going on. So I think for a little while we're going to do table talk during the lunch hour, and we're just going to do it a couple days a week. We're going to shoot for Mondays and Wednesdays, and then some weeks it'll be, but every other week it'll be on Tuesday.
when there's city council
City
meetings.
council, and
Because Jeff likes to go
Jeff
play
likes
outdoors.
To go to, right, he likes to go play outdoors, and if he's got to be in town anyways, every other Tuesday for council, we'll do that. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to post the schedule for Table Talk every Sunday night.
Yeah.
So that people know when we're going to be on, some of the topics that we will be touching on. If any of you have things that you would like us to talk about, let us know. Is there certain things that you would like to talk about? Would you like to know about, or not? Let us know.
Yeah.
And we'll try to
I
figure
think there
those
was
out.
something today at the auditorium. I think there was Coyotes tryout today.
Well, I know that they're here, and they did a press.
They did a press conference up at
the
Meltdown.
Yeah, and so they have stuff going on up there?
I think
too?
so, because I talked to one of the guys today and said they had to get the carpets pulled up from voting because the Coyotes were doing something in there.
Oh, nice. Well, we will definitely have to look into that too.
Yeah.
We'll have to look into what their schedule is.
Yep.
And we know that pretty soon they're going to be releasing the Vermont Ravens
Yes.
schedule. So, I mean, fall's a little ways away, but those boys are already practicing
Yep.
and on the field. So we'll start talking about that a little more as
Oh,
well, and have
boy, the-
players and people in.
The
and-
Mountaineers, they'll
Yeah.
be starting up.
They are,
The Lake Monsters up in Burlington.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, if anybody got kids and they like baseball, bring them to a Mountaineers game. Bring them up to see, the Lake Monsters, because
Mm-hmm.
it's fun. It really is fun. And
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
I've actually, it's been 2 years since I went, since I've seen a game. But when did we go? No, we went last year, and we had a blast.
did you go to Lake Monsters? Or
Lake Monsters.
They put on a really good
We had a blast.
program. Yeah.
Yeah, I went last year.
And the Mountaineers is fun. It's and if you like baseball, it's college baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them, the Lake Monsters and the Mountaineers, and it's good, talented players, but it's just fun. They make the games fun. So
Yeah, I think so. But no matter what, get out there, enjoy some stuff. The girls are not here tonight. They are doing a show on Friday again this week as opposed to today. They have all kinds of stuff happening.
they got their league must be starting up, the
Yes,
softball league.
It must be.
In fact, I think they had their first game last night.
I'll
I
have
saw
to check.
something on Facebook somewhere that there was a game.
I'll have to check. I know that Lori it's 4 quarters with Lori Shepard. Check
Yep.
out their Facebook page. They have all kinds of stuff posted where you can kind of get involved in whatever the show is they're doing. I don't know if they're betting or what it is that they're doing, but they're kind of got all kinds of stuff on there I've seen it posting the last few hours. So if you want to get involved with that, go ahead and check out the 4 quarters Facebook page and get involved with that. And then tomorrow we will have with us Sam Fisk tomorrow night, Michael and I. Sam is coming in again to talk about his son's, he's doing a memorial ride, a first memorial ride for
Yep.
his son, Chris, who passed away. And it's called Hearts to Heaven, or Hearts to Heaven. It'll be the first ride, and that's coming up in July. And everything is happening at the Den. This weekend is Bikers for Beth. It's already
Yep.
here Sunday, and you don't have to ride. And you can just go over, pay the $25, and have the meal, which is an incredible meal that they do every year. Sue Kelly makes the potato salad, and which is worth its weight in gold anyways. Like, you should, if anything else, you should just go to have Sue's potato salad. Not kidding. and have a lot of fun, hang out over there. It's a great cause, and that's happening
Yep.
this Sunday. And kickstand's up 11 o'clock. Always, it's going to be over at Gusto's.
Yep.
And I believe they'll probably do the parking lot behind the post office again this year because of what's going on across the street, Enterprise Alley.
Yeah, because I don't. Boy,
I can't see.
That won't be. I
No.
doubt like heck that'd be done by the weekend.
Yeah, I do too. So, and last year, Tom said, yes, go ahead, use
Yeah.
that parking lot, and they did, and it worked out fine. And so I'm just guessing that more than likely that's
I think
what
they use Mark Nicholson's parking lot too on the other side of the
Mm-hmm.
road there by the bridge.
And before we go, Glenn really wants an ordinance regarding chickens, goats, and junk cars.
I don't want anything to do with chickens. Like, I watched that the last time they had a chicken battle.
The chicken gate. That's what
Yeah.
we're calling it, chicken gate.
Definitely, we need to do something about junk cars, trash. We had that bulk trash pickup thing on Saturday.
And you guys saw a lot.
I saw a lot.
And learned
My
a
groups,
lot.
we did see a lot. Johnny Bedot was nice enough to lend us his truck and his trailer, and he drove, and we went out 3 different groups. We went out different hours. You had to book a time. To have we had each ward book a time, 2-hour gaps. Some of the stuff I saw was just unbelievable. Just stuff piled up everywhere, and I guess the people they can't afford to bring it to the landfill, or they don't have means to get it to the landfill. But some of the stuff I saw was just unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah. A little frightening for sure.
Yeah.
And I heard that out of all of the guys that were helping that day. Not just you. It was all of the guys and the helpers and whatever. Everybody had the same sentiment. Like,
And I'll be curious to
Holy
see
shit.
what this costs the city to do.
uh-huh.
Because they had, typically, when I was still working, we had 6 to 8 trash containers. They had 4. So now there's a big pile of trash. They piled up in the corner. Casella was coming up. We saw him yesterday coming. They'd pick up
Yeah.
the full ones, and they'd bring some empty ones back. In metal containers, I think they emptied one, they brought another one to fill.
Yeah.
But now, city employees, DPW guys, are gonna have to load those containers from that big pile they had to make. So there's more time, more dollars.
Yep.
I mean, it's a good thing to do, don't get me wrong, but there's a cost involved with it.
Yep. Exactly. And when you're pinching pennies, you got to look at all of that.
When you're not filling positions, and you're doing something like that, just doesn't make sense. But
Definitely have to check into it. And Glenn says if you would like, you could at least take a ride down Grandview Avenue.
Grandview Avenue,
Grandview Avenue. So just a
that up in the Camp Street area?
yeah. So just check it out at least. Just go for a little ride.
Jump right in my car and swing by.
Yeah, maybe get a creamy, go for a ride, take a little cruise by. Yeah. You never know what you might see. You may see some chickens,
Well,
some goats, and some
craving
junk
one of
cars.
those, one of those Raylene hot dogs, but
Yeah.
I had 2 or 3 of them yesterday. They were good.
They were good hot dogs.
They were good hot
They were-
dogs.
You got to burn them. If you don't burn
Yeah,
them,
apparently.
they're not good. They got to crisp up those Mackenzie hot dogs. So, all right, guys. So we're out. We will see you tomorrow night. Michael and I will see you tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. And until then, take care. Enjoy the sunshine while it lasts. Have a good night. And I hope your allergy meds are helping you. Because they're not helping me. That's for sure. I got to find new ones. Yeah. So take care, everyone. Have a great night.
Good night. So the camera wasn't working?